into a brand new wave, drowning out the noise that's tame. Liberty whispers through the brave, breaking free from every chain. Nullify the rules they crave, crypto beats that pave the way. Anarchy with minds that's safe, algorithms new dawn of day. Out of bounds and out of sight, building futures pure and bright. Escape the grip and win the fight. Welcome into the legacy ride. Beyond control we take a stand, casting off the iron brand. Freedom flowing through our hands, revolution's our command. Decentralize the way we plan, all together we expand. Breaking shackles for the clan, in this journey we're on pan. Out of bounds and out of sight, building futures pure and bright. Escape the grip and win the fight. Welcome into the legacy ride.
Sup? Whoa. Holy hell, how did we get into that? That's a little
I don't know.
I don't like that. There's Andrew with his eggnog, everybody. There's
I got a lot of problems with you people. Kaiser, you could still yeah, whatever. I lost my train of thought.
I think you're drunk, man. What are you, vodka or whiskey in that? Rum?
Eggnog. Just eggnog. I don't drink
Yeah.
alcohol.
I don't believe you. That was a little belligerent. Welcome in, everybody. It's Greg back.
Hey,
It's Andrew
how's it
back.
going?
Merry Christmas to all and then all. How does the saying go? I forget.
All a new
To
year.
all a good
Night.
something. Yeah,
Morning.
good night.
Yeah, good night. It is evening. Welcome in. I don't foresee many people chiming in
You
today.
know,
William's in there though. He's winning. So
what's weird about that "To All a Good Night" thing is that if you play that song in the right context, like broadcast nationally across multiple time zones, and you play it so that it plays right before nightfall in one place, but every other place it's like either way too late or way too early. Right? It gives you a sense of like how absurd the notion of sort of the local versus the global is. Like you can't even have a Christmas song make sense if you make it too broad.
Yeah. Stretches throws to thin.
I think really drive home the anti-institutional, anti-government message behind Christmas.
and it kind of shows it kind of breaks us out of the linear idea of time as well.
It does.
you're catching everybody in a loop. Some point, whenever they end up listening and they hear it, they'll actually it'll be morning or night whenever. So if
Right.
it's morning here, it's night in Australia tomorrow or whatever.
Yeah. Like, and how long, isn't it an 8-minute one-way trip for any signal going to Mars? Something like that?
I've actually never heard that.
Let's see. Let's just look it up real fast and make sure we're getting it right. How long for a signal to go from Earth to Mars? 4 and 24 minutes one way, depending on their positions in orbit. So, like when they're the furthest apart, it can take around 20 to 24 minutes. But when they're the closest, it can take 4 minutes. So it depends on where they are relative to each other. But when you think about it like that, right? Like 20 minutes, and if you're trying to broadcast the song so that it lands on Mars when the Martian sunset is happening, like how does that even start to make sense? To All a Good Night on Mars, right? Like you can't even have an intergalactic or like an interstellar radio station that plays that song in a way that makes sense.
I wonder if the like radio waves that we sent up to space are ever actually picked up by anything.
I don't know. It's a good question.
That is a good question. That is a good question. But it's almost like an entropic question, though.
Yeah.
Because
Well, it gets at possible futures.
Right. I think they kind of made fun of that with Futurama. There was an episode where they had a bunch of aliens that got upset because the series finale didn't air or whatever for them from like 2,000 years ago or something.
And then they decide that they decide to invade and conquer Earth or some shit like that.
Yeah.
The classic alien invasion story. But it's
My favorite alien invasion story was when they harvested the planet of that one race of aliens for poplars. They were just eating their young. It was like popcorn, basically. But they were harvesting it off this planet and just hauling it back to Earth. Eventually, the aliens found out because they caught them on their nanny cam on Earth, and they're like, "We think a fair trade if we eat many of your offspring as Earthlings ate of ours." And like, well, actually, we ate so many that if you ate all of our offspring and still have a lot of human beings left to eat before we were even.
So just pause for station identification so that people won't accidentally uninstall themselves out of fear.
It's pretty funny.
Oh, yes. Good transition there, Andrew. Head over to w.gg and get yourself some W energy for 10% off of any of your order, except for certain things, but most of everything is 10% off. Do not take the straw and sniff it like it's pixie sticks. I know you libertarians don't care. All right, that's the beauty of it. You don't care. Yeah. But don't put it.
Yep.
Put it in your water, mix it up, get yourself an energy boost.
Right. We're
without
definitely
the crash.
Not trying to start the W challenge.
I mean, we could start the W challenge on TikTok.
By telling
people not to do it. By telling people not to do it, that's the plan. Do not snore W.
do not sniff W. But yes, go over to W. Use that promo code down there scrolling, Legacy Rights, and you will get 10% off your first, your second, your third, your fourth, your whatever order, any order, you get 10% off. So go try it, and I promise you'll come back for it. There's some weird brands too. There's some weird flavors that they have, like
Yeah.
Grandpa's denters.
Gross.
I think they have.
I'm glad it went
Yeah.
there, because that could have gone a lot grosser at several places.
Well, I think they have like Grandma's mouthwash or something.
Again, could have been grosser. Thanks.
Yeah.
Dave.
Don't push him. He'll keep going.
I mean, I'm here to break the edge. Could be anti Jamina's cooter
And
juice.
Jemima's.
Jemima, whatever. Her cooter juice.
Yeah. Yeah. So have you guys ever really stopped to ponder the anti-authoritarian nature of the Christmas holiday?
No. I just take my look at it.
Like the entire nativity story is actually a story of two people fleeing with a prophetic child from a king who's trying to eradicate the child before it can grow into an adult and challenge his rule. Right. So already you have a state actor as sort of the malefactor in the story.
I mean, that does make sense.
Yep. But hold
Excuse me.
on a second there. That's Matthew, where they flee to Egypt. But what about Luke? He's presented in the temple.
Well, even
about
then,
Luke?
right? Like in any case, regardless, right? Like there's still a birth that takes place while under command from a state actor that isn't a sanitary birth in a safe place, regardless.
I mean, to be fair, Matthew and Luke, they go off of each other, right? So you gotta, if you lay them all side by side, Mark, Matthew, and Luke, they're the synoptics, so you can actually get the full end of the story with reading them side by side, especially in like the old Greek. And
Right.
if you go to, I mean, and speaking of like the anti-authority libertarian route of the nativity and the flight to Egypt, escaping Herod for the death of the innocents, you have Luke who retroactively ends up describing the Roman census that's being taken, and that's why they have to go to Bethlehem, the ancestral birthplace of Joseph. Which obviously that's a little weird too, because how would you know that your ancestral birthplace is Bethlehem? But
Well, I mean,
for all we
it'd be
know,
all-
yeah.
I
For
mean,
all
that
we
sounds
know,
like
Joseph was from
Oh, man,
Bethlehem
like,
and probably had a
think
home
about
there.
this. Basically, any time before the 1980s, you were getting away with anything that nobody saw you do. So, like back then, it was probably pretty reasonable for people to just like not go, which is why the census story doesn't make as much sense to me.
No, it doesn't. But it makes sense if you don't take it on a literal basis.
Right. No, it does. Yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah, but
and it is historically around the right time. So
that and the Romans would have held some sort of census, whether or not it was tax related or just accounting of who they had. It was most likely would have been tax related, especially with new acquired lands.
Census has always been
course.
a security device, ultimately.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So
The
fact
know
is-
who is in our empire is the question.
So the story of the census, the story of the flight of Egypt, from the death of the innocents, these are all libertarian branded ideas.
Well, I mean, I
I
can
just
see a
think
draw
the,
comparison between Luke and F.A. Hayek.
Well, there was always an insurgent, rebellious undercurrent in the early days of Christianity that I think come through embedded in the stories that they chose to tell as the big stories, right? You can see it echoed in things like preserving the nativity story and making it ambiguous as to whether or not they were fleeing from Herod or whether or not they were just going to comply with imperial decree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Matthew also had
that's exactly what you would do if you were fighting an information war with the books you were releasing.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, you got to think though, when it comes to the Bible and an information war, as hard as it is to gravitate in getting the true authority of old manuscripts, of ancient manuscripts, of old texts, the Bible is one of the very few that we have copy after copy after copy, just meticulously, and it's of very little error besides scribal error. Certain little mistranslations that don't lose their meanings because you're going from the Greek, from the Aramaic to the Greek, to the Latin, etc., etc.
And it tends to fragment as you get into like the pre-canonization periods, right? Like that's the thing. Is like the really interesting tapestry of books to me is the whole picture of what was written. Like if you go out and you find all the stuff that didn't get included, have you ever read through any of the recovered? Really fascinating read.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of it's just like clear. Some of it's like Gnosticism, but some of it's not. Some of it's something different.
Well, I mean, to our Protestant friends, they would call the Deuterocanonicals the Apocrypha, even though they've been canonized since the 4th century. Coming down, and taking effect all of the extended books from the Septuagint, the Alexandrian Jew, which most early Christians were more astute to, rather than the more localized, shorter Hebrew scriptures. But where was I going at this?
Sounds to me like what you're implying is that it's an arbitrary label, and they're all really part of the same story.
Yeah, it all portrays exactly what is being accounted. Now, as for like the other Apocrypha, the actual Apocrypha, like the Book of Enoch and the Book of the Watchers and Jubilees, and I mean, these are very interesting books. I mean, I would go out and I'd go and try to find them. Go out and get you a copy, like especially the Book of the Watchers. Actually, they're nice extension. I'm surprised Enoch wasn't put in.
Good at taking people through that. Like, have you ever done that? Like, just like pasted a book that you wanted to quickly interrogate and sort of stuff. Like, you paste in images from these that are doing translations, and you can just like get these translations in there. You can get some really interesting stuff out. Like, I had a really fascinating dialogue that compared the Gospel of Thomas to the Gateless Gate, and through to the sayings as if they were trying to teach the same lesson to see if they lined up. Kind of like there's a kind of sort of there. Some definite like Buddhist undercurrents in that story. In that sayings.
The only thing the Gnostic Gospels can bring you an interesting take, and certainly it kind of ties in that Eastern spiritual philosophy. But the only thing I cannot get behind is their dualist mentality of this idea that the bodily resurrection didn't occur.
Yeah,
because
all of the extra bolt-on, like, I mean, I know Occam's razor doesn't apply to religion at all, but also a lot. I mean, and I'm sorry to Gnostics, but there's a lot of bolt-on metaphysics that just isn't there in the canonical religions. Like that, there's a lot of belief that they expect of you in the supernatural in these structures that you can't see, and they invent a lot of them. It seems almost as if from whole cloth. stuff that's not supported by text that they just build in because they want this grand mythos.
Oh yeah,
And
it
just
that's the
always struck me as like self-aggrandizing, you know?
that's the brilliance of humanity, right? We want to fill in the gaps as best as we can because we want to know as much as we want, as much as we can, but we don't humble ourselves to the point where sometimes you're just not gonna know until it's time.
Yeah.
You may never know. So, but that is what's
Right.
interesting about humanity and our ingenuity and our to innovate and improvise and try to expand upon knowledge that we have no real grasp upon, so we can have a grasp on it.
Right. No, I mean we know a really little amount, but what we know well.
Hey,
Yeah.
Cheeto,
So
Cheeto
that's
Breath,
always
you have
something.
anything to
That's
say?
the positive takeaway. It's like there's this huge, vast shore of unknowledge that we don't have. Just
Mhm.
things that we'll probably even never be able to learn as a species.
Unfortunately,
But
you know, sometimes we just go out not ever knowing for sure.
we can do a lot with what we've got so far.
That's right.
Speaking of, we can do a lot that we have. Andrew, how did the recording go?
Well, I mean, for anybody who's on the know, around this time every year at my house, since we moved here several years ago, there's been some kind of paranormal stuff that's happened, and nothing's happened. But I got about a day's worth of recording from my webcam. Something happens, I'll get
Nice.
it up and I'll put it up here. But like this year, for some reason, the Christmas tree just moved on its own.
I think it was the cat, but to be fair, and you just didn't notice. But I mean, you got to have a fresh skepticism, even when you believe in things like this, because things can be explained. They
Yeah.
can be explained, and when they're not, you'll know. You'll know.
Yeah,
So hopefully,
it's true.
Andrew has some content, and we got you. We have all of you a ghost.
Right.
Yeah, that looks like I don't know. Looks like Robert Redford. He died and he haunts Andrew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll call it that.
I was gonna say Patrick Swayze, but you just don't seem like the type for Patrick Swayze.
I see.
That was a
I
ghost
don't know.
joke.
And if I had to pick out a celebrity for Andrew, it would be, and I mean this is a total compliment, by the way, Stanley Tucci.
Oh hell yeah!
I didn't hear you because it cut off. What'd you say?
Oh, I'd say if I pick out a celebrity for you, that would be Stanley Tucci, and I mean that as a compliment.
Thank you.
Amen to that. Yeah, yeah.
That's who will play you in the movie of your life someday.
I
I mean,
always
he'll
thought
be
it was
dead,
gonna
but
be.
it'll probably be an LLM.
I was always thinking Don Knotts would play you, but he is also sadly dead.
Yeah,
But that
we
is
can
also
get him back.
we need to.
Imagine
We
the
need
movie
to.
you could make with all of the actors that you could get back now. Man,
Well, first off, we'd have to get John Wayne and John Ford back for another movie together. That's just a plus.
yep.
We can finally give the people the Searchers too to compliment us all for that obliteration of box office garbage, The Conqueror, which wasn't a John Ford film. But John Wayne was.
We could
John,
get Bruce Lee against Brandon Lee in the film.
that would be intriguing. I would like that. And while we're at it, let's just add Jason Scottley in there.
Right.
Yeah, we'll just have the entire Lee family in there.
Yeah.
In fact, didn't Jason
Just
Scott
don't add any bald
make
ones. He'll shoot somebody again.
didn't Jason Scott Lee actually play Bruce in a movie about Bruce?
I think so.
I think he
Did you
did.
mention
Yeah.
it?
It's amazing that out of the Lee family, they all got shot on set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually pretty dangerous to do some of the stunts with those fake guns. They're still shooting blanks at each other, and those are not completely safe, right?
Oh no!
As anybody who has ever been shot with one will attest. They're not they're not toys by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
No.
And it's also really easy to mix up those sorts of munitions with rounds that are live, which is what happens to all these people.
Mm-hmm. And it's
Especially don't they do a fair amount of filming of just like live rounds shot with blanks being shot at actors? So there's like a very potential, like probably a great potential for mix up.
Maybe that's what happened to what's his face. I forgot his name. Oh, Alec Baldwin. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe it was a live round got stuck in the chamber after they just said, "Oh, fuck it."
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Is it his fault? Is it? I mean, he is pretty stupid.
It could literally just be the Illuminati trying to take him out,
The Illuminati? The Illuminati trying to take Alec out? Man, I thought he was part. I thought
he could have deviated from the plan.
He probably, yeah. He started having a heart a little bit. Like, I kind of want to retire from Hollywood. Kind of done with this shit.
Right.
No, once you're in,
Yep.
you're in.
Nope, you're going to the Grove again, buddy, whether you like it or not.
If you go to the Grove at least one more time, Alec, we'll let you no longer go sit in the back of the Council on Foreign Relations meetings. You know how those are kind of boring. He's been to one, at least one in his life. They invite pop culture stars all the time.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of
those people are all tools. They're all owned, man. Every last one of them is somebody's messaging buddy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we watched it during the pandemic, right? All the celebrities that played along versus the ones that didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The ones that didn't, legend, right? Like, you can name them a few hands, right? Which musician? Which one was the one who was like, "No, this is stupid as shit"? Morrison. He was like, "Nope, not doing it. It's dumb. Screw you all."
Well, people want to use full idiots so that they think they can be safe in the environment as it's evolving.
Yeah.
Well, speaking,
it goes to show what kind of damage can be done when like big corps own all the contracts for IP, right? Like they could make or break any musician for the most part.
Yep.
So they own everybody who's in music. I mean, except for people like Morrison, who are just like, I don't give a shit.
I think that's the reason why I don't think he overdosed on. I don't think he overdosed on his own. I think someone killed
The council, or the USA integrations with the music industry had much more to do with that than people really know.
And they use P. Diddy and Suge Knight as their central figures to kind of pinpoint it. And of course, Diddy probably had a lot to do with it. Diddy most likely personally did take out Biggie. Because it's incredible the trajectory that he took after Biggie's death. So it's almost like,
well, and it also explains how they kind of like tried to erase him with this scandal. Like it's what they do. It's sort of like how they built Bin Laden and then tried to take him out.
Mm-hmm. I mean, speaking of that, it's almost identical if you really think. If you look at it side by side, the death of Biggie and the trajectory, the propulsion of Diddy, almost looks identical to like Charlie Kirk's death, and then the propulsion up into like stardom mode, which what looks like is going to probably be JD Vance's run. I really do think that they're grooming her to be his running mate in 2028. That's what it looks like. But it's amazing how
theory.
you look at the Biggie assassination and what it did for Diddy, and then you look at Charlie Kirk's assassination and what it's doing for Erica Kirk. It's interesting, man. The patterns that you find, it's interesting.
That would be making a lot of sense.
Be a shame to let a good tragedy go to waste, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
She could be the first female president after that.
Could be. Is the world ready for an American female president?
All they want is a sacrifice, right?
I don't think the world can handle it.
I mean, let's see how
if it's run anything like my house, you know, like I think the world can handle it.
Yeah, but that's I mean that's organized chaos, though. I mean, we're probably thinking more like Hillary Clinton if she was president.
Right.
I think there's some gray area question, and I say this is all love that you could have a female ruler that wasn't authoritarian.
Mm-hmm. Could you?
It would be hard.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it.
I mean, I mean, it's very difficult not to get an authoritarian-esque man. So, how do we know that a woman would be better?
Well, I mean, I don't think better or worse is really the question. I think the question mark is, could we? Could it be possible, or are we going to get like libertarianism light or libertarian paternalism, that kind of thing? You know, where someone like Elizabeth Warren needs everyone to be locked into a system so she can do behavioral economics on them. So she's anti-crypto.
Anything to say about
it's all behavioral economics in defense of the little guy, of course. But
of course, it's always the defense.
A lot of people look toward the state as a paternal figure. So you know, if it's not acting in managing position, its actions are more to keep the peace, then you're going to have some tension and conflict.
One reason why the state needs to divide the family and remove the father from the household is because of that association with the paternal nature.
Do we slip back into wrong answers only episode again?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually,
I think men are just as likely to be authoritarian is part of the problem. But
oh no, there's an issue with it all when it comes to individuals, of course. But I mean, to Andrew's point, the paternal nature of what people perceive the state to be is a lot to do with how we perceive the family dynamic is, and what the father's role and what the mother's role is. And the father is the provider and the protector, and that's exactly how society looks at the state, is that provider and that protector. And why wouldn't they want to crumble the family dynamic and remove the father so that the state can be that father figure, which it has done with the expansion of the welfare
Well, I
system.
mean, yeah, except for the fact that, maybe they thought it was going to work out when they set out to try it, but now we
Really?
know from watching the results of what it doesn't do anything good, right? Like we know that now.
Mhm.
And I think that the problem is that the persistence in it, like this idea that we need to shove all the way through with the plan, even though we saw it point to disaster,
Mhm.
is where it gets crazy, where they get a little bit too caught up in the ideals to look at reality squarely in the face.
Mhm. That's the problem with society is we don't really look at reality. We want
Well,
to have
nobody
these
wants to.
fantasies. Yeah. Well, if we actually looked at reality face to face, like the monster that it is, and tried to slay it, we'd have to acknowledge that we're all going to die, and most people
Well,
aren't
yeah.
ready
Well,
to.
and that there are invariants beyond our control that we can't
Mhm.
manipulate and that we can't reconfigure, and that make up the world as it's presented, and that there are certain things that we can't avoid because of that. Those are ugly, hard, and unfortunately complicated truths, right? Like I think that's the hardest part about living in reality, is that it's not prone to care if you get bored or if you have a short attention span. It requires
Right.
people to have a long attention span if they want to play along.
Mhm.
The adventure of the guy who
And
just started paying attention. I think I'm getting screwed.
yeah, and
Shit about Bitcoin when it
it's
was
basically as bad as the
$5.
fact that everyone who has any attention for it at all realizes they're getting screwed in the respect that they're paying attention to it in. But like, if you pay attention to all of it, then you'd realize you're getting screwed in all of it. it's just as bad in all the parts you're not paying attention to.
Yeah.
Well, how does causality actually play a role into this mentality of society?
Well, I mean,
Sociology, psychology.
it limits
I mean,
everything, right? We can't
Mhm.
violate causality. There's no prescription for that. There's no there's no way physics to violate causality.
it seems like it falls into consequentialism.
Well, I mean, causality itself is what? A bunch of possible futures coexisting in parallel at any given moment. Some of them like will end up unrelated altogether, right? Like whatever is happening in a chat on another show that has nothing to do with anything any of us are interested. Let's speculate at the fact that there are some people who are super into, like, I don't know, collage making or macrame or some kind of art and craft, right? Something that has nothing to do with what we're doing here. We can assume that those people are probably out there watching a live stream right now, right? Just like us, but it doesn't matter, right? The order they happen, just that they happened today is probably enough for most people's knowledge about what's been going on the internet. But like, it could happen at the same time as us right now, and it wouldn't matter, right? Other people would be living in that world, it wouldn't matter. But
Yeah.
about all the stuff that matters to us, we couldn't have, for instance, the beginning of the show come at the end. That would break causation. Like, you would actually have this sort of cluster of synchronized local time would be screwed up by that. So it might not matter when shows just like us are happening exactly, but what matters at the beginning of the show and what matters at the middle and the end of the show matter to us, because that's our local synchronized causal set here, right? Like, that's us in this timeline.
Well, here's the cause and effects for you, everybody. The cause is I'm asking you, I'm e-begging you. And the effect is you're going to go to w.gt and you're going to go get yourself some W. You're going to get yourself a nice little no crash energy boost for 10% off any order. So go on over to w.gt, buy yourself some W energy, and use code LegacyRight for your 10% off. Cause and effect. Let's see if it works.
Hey. Usually, it's talking about synchronicity, right? It's not exactly
Yeah.
in sync, but you always want to look out for Bunt in reality. He comes on after us, usually. Check it out.
Yeah, he doesn't love
Yeah.
you as much as we love you. We're doing this on Christmas Eve. That motherfucker's drunk on his ass right now. Don't
There's
lie,
nothing
Sean.
wrong with that.
Oh man.
We love Sean, and every Wednesday, except for tonight, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, Buds in Reality. So don't miss if you want to get real, and possibly a contact Buzz. Buds in Reality podcast at 7 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday on YouTube, X, and Rumble.
Hey.
Yep.
Still a lot of dead air here, Andrew. You gonna spit it out?
I mean, sorry. The sugar got to me. I'm all over the place.
It's good. Nasty eggnog. That's what it is. All
I know,
that
right?
vodka you had to put in it. Don't lie. Don't lie. See the last drop of the vodka eggnog.
Yeah, right. And
So
I'm not one for
what
alcohol myself.
I'm not either, but it's Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Local finiteness. How do we
Yeah.
orchestrate that on from the principles of physics, but then apply it philosophically and socially in our real world society? Or do
Well,
we
I
want
mean,
to apply it?
local finiteness is sort of hard to imagine reality without, I guess, is the hard part, right? Like, can you try to imagine a world in which, like, there was an infinite amount of space literally between you and the wall, right? That the bounds of the world are relative and infinite locally. That you can do that experiment. You have an elephant that's half the size of the last elephant, and you stack them end to end, and you try to reach the limit, and you never reach it, right? That would be possible in reality if it weren't finite.
Yeah.
Sounds like inflation.
I mean, we have a manipulation. Actually, Andrew just hit it. We have a manipulation of that infiniteness when it comes to Washington and its subjects with inflation. I mean, it's fake.
Well, that's not a real system, right? Like,
no.
I guess it's a physical system in the sense that it's a distortion of economics, right? And that it's like it's sort of an ugly cancer of economics. That's what happens when you attempt to intervene in economic activity in a way that doesn't synchronize locally. Like, you can intervene in economic activity, but you have to be mindful of the fact that any invention you make that presumes a global clock is going to fail.
But just remember, we'll reach maximum employment.
What is that? What does maximum employment even mean, really, though, is the question.
That's a good question. I don't know. I'll get back to you once I get my contacts to the TIA.
Like, presumably it means that by their employment statistics, they reach the maximum feasible amount of employment under the economic system. Right? And I think that the way that the people that run the Fed think about it, after they eliminate all the people from the economy that haven't gotten a job in the last 6 months, which they do right away, sort of like a normalization step, so they can't account for all the people who don't have a job and quit trying to find one. That's out. But setting that aside, like, they need to set a period to make it make sense. Otherwise, their whole concept doesn't make sense at all of maximum employment. So like they're going to say 4% of the economy is unemployed at any given point, and if they can get to 4% unemployment, they're like, we won.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like right now,
But-
I what's her name? The press secretary. Think there was a tweet where it was memed, and it showed a reflection of like last year's unemployment or last year's GDP percentage, and it was like 3 point something, and then this year's reflecting around now, it's around like 4.3%, and it's like, we're winning, guys. Look at how much the Trump economy is doing. But
look at how good these algorithms we've designed to show exactly the numbers we want to show are working. They start with the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, and they get those numbers exactly as they need them for it to turn out just this.
Like we need,
we
need inflation.
It's all just
to be.
It's all part of the kayfabe of it.
Yeah,
Right.
It is kayfabe. Like, especially when your aim is to like keep inflation down at 2.3%. Well, it's like, really, that's doable, but quit creating money and borrowing money and stimulating the economy with fiat, and you can probably get on target to that, but you're not going to do that.
And maybe given all of the disasters that we've encountered, they said would be the cause of free market economics. Like if we let capital just control itself, if we let interest rates be set by market rates, then we back to the hell where there are these boom and bust cycles, and there are huge chunks of the economy taken out of action for long periods of time every time there's a disaster. Oh wait, doesn't that sound familiar? Right, like maybe what we need to try is the opposite, and they always reach this solution of double down on what we're trying. It boggles the mind to me to think that they've never once thought to question whether or not the mechanism as they've imagined it is correct if what's happening continues to happen.
Well, straddles the line between, the reduction of risk and the chase of success. One's got to be the tipping point over the other. The balance is difficult.
Build back better, baby.
But all that is exactly why a moment like Christmas is important, I think, in not just this country, but the human sort of milieu of economic things. Like we need a Christmas holiday, not just for our own sakes and not just for the sake of this country, but for the sake of human beings coming out of a production cycle, having some joy out of it. The fact that we get to take a little bit of joy out of what we've got right now, I think matters a lot more than looking at all the problems.
So you agree that Christmas should be a federal holiday? Got it.
Yeah, exactly. More federal holidays. It's a good way to underscore most of the points that I'm trying to make.
Right.
Well, I mean, the true point of Christmas, I think, our secularism, has actually gotten away from what the point of it is. But it's rebirth. It's resetting yourself and rebirth. You can take it as you are. Like if you're a Christian, it's yes, you're celebrating the birth of your Savior, but it's also a recharge for your own conscience, your own spirituality. I mean, Advent at one point, and what it's supposed to be is literally a reset piece where you come down out of yourself and, fast. Really, I mean, it's 4 weeks of fasting.
And the origins of the holiday came around a time when human beings had to store all the food that they just harvested for winter and survive on it. And there was a portion of it over which they could no longer store this excess, this unusable portion that was going to spoil no matter what because they just didn't have time to store it or space or whatever, right? And the point of holiday festival was to use that excess because otherwise it was going to go to waste, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
have a feast.
To degree, the productive activity when it's fruitful enough to have any excess at all is what we're celebrating, which is kind of neat. Like it ties the anti-government message of the nativity into, I think, an individualist pursuit that nonetheless promotes giving, which is pretty cool. I think, like, just to leave it at that. I don't want to spend the last chunk of the Christmas episode talking about something besides Christmas, because I think it's important.
Yeah. No. Especially when it comes to family and acknowledging where you're at and where you come from and what you've produced.
Yeah.
Like, you're literally celebrating on one end, getting away from the Christian aspect. You're in celebration of what you've been productive with for the harvest season. So, and that's a great success. Yeah. So why not celebrate it? Because you have all this store over and then of course all this excess, and you come together as a community and you have even more excess. So why not have a big old party?
Right.
I mean, for the most part. And you get together. I mean, it's camaraderie. So, and
if you've got excess to give, then give it,
Exactly.
Because it's going to go to waste anyway.
I like to give my excess to Sean.
OHIO. As Zach would say.
Detroit. What? So, any more we can gather and gander at. I know it's Christmas Eve, so Andrew has an important date.
Go ahead.
Do you guys have a favorite Christmas song?
Christmas song?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do, but it's hard to describe. Let's see if I can just play it.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Well, I got mine. I mean, I would say my favorite Christmas. It's a good Christmas song, though.
I couldn't tell you, man. What genre are we talking about?
Music. I mean, country music, regular rock and roll, and, traditional.
Merry Motherfucking Christmas by Eazy-E.
Okay.
Merry motherfucking Christmas. Merry motherfucking Christmas. Merry motherfucking Christmas, and have a fucked up New Year. When I was and my favorite part, and this is how I know Easy's gay, while I'm riding that cock under the mistletoe. I would play it, but we'd get a copyright strike because Ruthless Records, baby.
It says it right there at the record label.
They're so ruthless that they will make sure they get their money. I don't even think they exist anymore. They exist as a royalty check for his wife.
Yeah.
You find your song, Greg?
Here we go.
Oh, I like it.
It's a Carol of the Bells.
We're not going to get copyrights, right? I can care less.
Well, not if we pause it after enough seconds. I'm watching the clock.
Right.
No, I do like that. I like the melody.
Yeah,
I do like the melody of that.
It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. And what's it called?
That was Ukrainian Carol from Erotic Christmas Collection Volume 1, originally released in 1988.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Never heard it.
Yeah, it was a really cool
Backstage.
collection of just like random artists. There, because it was an 80s record, there's like a lot of synth in it, which was fantastic. Right? It brings that out, which, if you follow that series over the course of the early 90s, when we finally doing it, it gets like more and more live instrumentation over time because like they drop the synth stuff. Fantastic. It's almost watch 1980s turn into the 90s in real time, but with Christmas.
Right.
Nice. What's yours, Andrew?
Well, like I said, it's not my favorite Christmas. It's a good Christmas. Well, it depends on how you. Well, it's the outro. Let me know what you guys think about it. I guess in the comments.
It is Christmas Eve. It is Christmas Eve. I told you we would probably be dwindled today because it's Christmas Eve. Ain't nobody. I hope nobody's on their computer with their family.
Yeah.
So like and share this, everybody, and get this out to anybody and everybody that you know, so that they can listen to this and put it on your bookmark this and start sharing it away and that's how we get the views. Right? And then like
on your hearts.
Like and subscribe.
Huddle around your hearths while we read a Christmas children's story up next. Wait, we don't have time for that, do we? No, never mind. Sorry, guys. We'll have to do that next Christmas.
Right.
We'll have to do it next Christmas. So wait and find out, everybody. To be continued next year, 365 days later. So, anything else that we want to go into before? Like I said, it's Christmas Eve. So.
I guess an honorable mention will be Bitcoin's Nap Time song. That's a good Christmas themed rap music.
Yeah.
Bitcoin. Christ is King. Hallelujah. Emmanuel. So, other than that, let's get to Andrew's. This is a very long song. Stick around, everybody. Let us know what you think. Go over to YouTube. Leave us a comment. What do you think of Red Sovine? So, what do you think about Red Sovine? So, but other than that, I think it's just time to just say Merry Christmas. We'll see you next week to ring in the new year. And let's get the fuck out of 2025.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Sounds good.
See you later.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
The fat man sat on the busy street corner, his white beard and red suit in rhyme. His ho-ho brought joy to the children, for again it was Christmas time. His belly would shake as he merrily laughed, spreading his Christmas joy. "I'm Santa, come sit on my knee," he'd say to each little girl and boy. But standing apart from the merry crowd stood a lad about 7 years old. With no coat to cover his bony frame, he was shaky and weak from the cold. He had no shoes to warm his feet. He looked hungry, just skin and bone. But with a look of peace on his humble little face, he just stood there all alone. When Santa saw the boy, a sympathy grew, and he said, "Come here, lad, come here to me." He covered the trembling frame with his robe as he placed the child on his knee. The boy looked up into Santa's eyes with worship for the bearded man, and he said, "My name's Billy, and I love you, sir. Why, you're the grandest in all the land." "And I didn't mean to be no trouble, Santa," he went on, trying hard to smile. "But I heard you laughing, and I saw the kids, and I thought I'd just watch for a while." But I won't bother you with wanting nothing, sir, 'cause I already know I've been bad. Santa looked down at the poor little ragged boy and he said, "Son, where's your mother and dad?" "Well, my daddy lives in prison, Santa. That's what Mama says anyhow. They say he shot Mama's boyfriend. He's been there a long time now. And me and Mama, we live with Mr. Brown now. Mom works at the bar every day. Mr. Brown just drinks beer and cusses a lot whenever I get in his way. So I've been gone about 4 days now, Santa. I've been sleeping in cars that I find. And I know that makes me a bad boy, but you sure have been treating me kind. I've been praying for you since I've been big enough, Santa, every Christmas Eve night. And then the next day, the kids have all the toys, and I know that you made it all right. And I'm so glad to see them so happy as I go walking along. But my stocking is always empty, and that's how I know I done wrong. Mr. Brown told me all about it. He says I just ain't no good. And I know he's right, 'cause you never came, sir. And I know if I wasn't bad, then you would. It's okay, son, Santa muttered. Such faith he had not seen in a while. Though a tear was straining to fill his eyes, he looked down at the lad with a smile. Just tell Santa what you'd like, son, anything you might have in mind. I didn't know where you lived before, Billy, but I promise I won't miss you next time. Little Billy's face quickly grew brighter. Such luck he would never have guessed. After thinking a while, he finally said, "Well, sir, I might just have one request. Have you ever been to heaven, Santa? Why, I bet you know God as good as you are. Could I just ride up to Jesus' house, sir, if it's not too awful far? He might just let me live there a while. Daddy says he likes little boys. And I wouldn't take up too much room, sir. I'd just sit in the back with the toys. And I promise not to be bad, Santa, and I could help God do his chores. And he might even let me see Daddy, and I wouldn't be hungry no more." "I'm so tired and sleepy now, Santa," said the child as he looked toward the skies. With a sigh, he relaxed against Santa's chest and peacefully closed his eyes. Santa quickly felt for the little boy's pulse. "Someone please get a doctor," he said. But when the ambulance took little Billy away, everyone knew he was dead. The children had grown more silent as they listened to the little boy. They were no longer happy and laughing. His story had stolen their joy. They looked to Santa for comfort. He fought for the right words to say. And he said, "Now, kids, don't be sad for Billy, 'cause he just went to heaven today. He wanted to go and live with God. So now everything's all right. Let thoughts of Billy make your hearts be kind. And I'll see you all Christmas Eve night. Merry Christmas, everybody."
Merry Christmas.